So refresh my memory. I know with Vito, we had the kid thing. We had we have resource guarding, and it was just like general, just obedience, correct?
Yeah, just general obedience. It was mostly, honestly, the biggest pet peeve was leash walking, but it's pretty well nipped in the butt kind of at this point.
Sure.
Knock on wood. I don't want to go ahead and praise him too much yet, but he's done really good with that.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. So, and we've covered. We did heel. We did stay. We've done the come and called stuff. We did place.
Yeah.
Right. So that's 4. Okay. So yeah, we'll come over here. We'll work in this little spot. If you want to bring your stuff and set it down here, so you don't have to worry about people.
Yep.
We had an incident with the lady earlier, who was like walking around harassing people.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was a little odd. Yeah. But she was walking up to people, yelling at them and stuff.
A lot of internal struggle.
Yeah, for sure. Felt bad because you knew something was up with the lady.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, she started going up to
let people enjoy
my client's son and stuff. I'm like, no, man, like that ain't happening.
Yeah. Let people enjoy their day. You know? Yeah, and just in general too. I mean, we were at my parents this weekend, and they got quite a bit of land, so he's generally off leash because there's not people around really. So even just the general obedience off leash is really good. I mean,
excellent.
Vito he generally will come to us. And,
sure.
Yeah,
explain generally to me.
Even with other, so their neighbors do have other dogs.
Okay.
So he'll see them and he'll just kind of retreat back to me.
Okay.
It's an initial look and he'll come back. So it's been pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like generally,
yeah. No, but I just obviously there's not this environment there, so it's
right. It's easier.
Yeah, but he's done Vito come and he's generally will come. But,
yeah, the recall is the one command that takes the longest.
Yeah.
Because it requires you to have to go. You have to go somewhere with open space.
For sure.
Ideally, distractions to make it more realistic, and then practice. Right. Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me. So definitely keep working on the recall stuff. Because everything else is easy. Every day you walk them, so you practice walking.
Exactly.
Right. The play stuff can be done inside.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't honestly. I mean, I know we should refresh it. We honestly just haven't refreshed maybe the first 2 or 3 sessions we've done. I know we should go back and kind of do place every now and then.
Sure. Think of it as like, when it comes to obedience, the way I approach it is, what do you need?
Yeah.
Right? Or what do I think you'll need?
Yeah.
So like, let's say like the kids thing. Okay. So let's say for whatever reason Vito just doesn't like kids.
Yeah.
Easiest approach to that would be, okay, Vito, go here, don't move, and tell the kids, leave Vito alone. He's on the bed, so he'll leave you alone.
For sure.
Right? That makes that interaction easier.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say he made great progress and doesn't care about kids, then you don't need it anymore. Does that make sense?
No, for sure.
So it's kind of like you have it in case you need it.
Yeah, it's in reserve.
But every dog's progression is different. I mean, there's been kids around here.
Yeah.
And you want to think about your context as well. Because remember there was the alley incident in the garage.
The alley incident, and then my parents' garage.
Correct.
He just, I don't know. I honestly wasn't even near him. That girl or someone was near him at that time. And the kid walked in, and it was the only kid in the entire garage. We had a party with probably 20, 30 people. And,
Sure.
And of course, he went up to the kid and kind of scared him, and not bit, but just
Little.
yeah, just that. So
Chances are, I would gamble with your equipment on.
for sure,
You wouldn't see it. Because of the mental state it puts him in. Like, oh, okay, like there's discipline present. Right. I can't get away with stuff. But we'll talk about how you can use what you've learned to be proactive about those situations.
for sure.
And I don't know if I told you, but we've added 2 complimentary Zoom sessions to the programs.
Awesome.
For the stuff that we can't do at home.
Okay.
Right? So like any questions like, hey Jesse, how do we take what we've learned and apply it with kids and stuff?
Yeah.
We can do the Zoom session for it.
I'd love to do that.
Now, when it comes to kids, what's your goal? I mean, I'm assuming in the future, building the family.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. So my sister is in a lot of our. My sister's gonna have a kid in October. Becca's got plenty of cousins that have little newborns and toddlers, and we would love for him to just be able to. We had him when we took him to Becca's parents last weekend, he was on leash the whole time.
Sure.
When her family came by and stuff like that. Just because they didn't want any sort of risk for that. But,
Sure.
Yeah, I would love to not have to worry about them biting, but yeah, that's kind of my goal is for him to be able to interact with kids friendly, and if we have a kid one day, hopefully, then kind of the same thing with that too.
Okay. The kid thing, the family thing, we can do on Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say you can relax more about that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll fill you in on the Zoom of how that typically works out.
Yeah.
When it comes to taking Vito with you to Rebecca's house, things like that.
Yeah.
So I know you had him on leash, and who came over? Cousins, kids?
Yeah, it was her cousin,
All
and her
adults?
cousin's got a kid, so
Okay.
a toddler.
And how did he respond when he saw the kid?
He had him in the cage the whole time.
Okay.
We really didn't want to. He was on the leash before the kid came over, because we didn't know when he was coming over. But
Sure.
we put him in the kennel for the time being when he was there.
So you never saw him?
He never saw him.
Okay. And then he was there again this past.
He didn't go. No.
Okay.
He was.
It was
not
just
there.
last weekend.
It was just we went last weekend and went back in this weekend. So
Oh,
it was
gotcha.
just the last two.
Has he seen kids since?
This week?
In general, since let's say since we've started working together, has there been a situation where he was around kids again?
Honestly, we tried to avoid it as much as we can, to be honest. But
Sure.
No interaction. Not an interaction. Maybe here or there, but definitely not an interaction. Maybe just kids walking by our house.
How does he respond with them? Or is he
It's okay. It's weird. So I will say this. When this happened maybe a month ago or so, he did bark at a lady with a stroller.
Okay.
Just walking by.
In front of the house or outside of the
Yeah, he was outside of our house. Since our house is fenced in the front, so he was outside the house, and she was walking by, and he was barking pretty aggressively.
Okay.
Towards
And so he's in the yard behind
Yes,
the fence,
yes.
and ladies walking by with a stroller.
Correct.
Okay. Does he bark at anybody else that walks outside the fence?
It's the thing. It seems like as we've been doing these sessions more, he's been getting better. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
I will honestly say he is definitely more defensive when he's in the house than when he's outside.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes. So that's normal.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really just understanding Vito, because once you understand how our dog's brain works, it's very easy to predict stuff.
Yeah.
Because people used to go like, "Oh, the dog's unpredictable." I'm like, "Nope, that's pretty normal behavior."
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we kind of, when he bit the kid in the garage that second time, that's when we were like, okay, we're on high alert with kids. But then when he did that, we were prepared for something like that. We honestly didn't expect the kid to be there, but
Sure.
it happened. And obviously we ran to the scene as fast as we could. And ever since then, that's really put us on high alert with kids and everything.
For sure. So what I would do is trying to think about, because I'm assuming you want to work with kids.
Absolutely, I would love to.
Do you have any friends with kids?
One of them just had a kid. No, we don't.
What about your wife?
Not anyone like near here.
Okay, sure.
In Iowa, yeah, she's got a couple, but
All right.
use them as test dummies. In a way.
Technically. Yeah, usually small younger kids.
Yeah.
So trying to think about how we would progress this part, because there's two options here. There's the control option, which is, all the obedience stuff that we're doing is the control, right? If I tell Vito to lay down at my feet, I know he's not going to move, which reduces my worry about is he going to go after the kid, right? And then there's can we get Vito to like kids, right? Because I'm not judging his, the way those interactions as the way he actually feels about kids, because both of them, I think, in the consultation I said were territorial behaviors.
For sure.
But they just happen to be a kid.
Yeah.
Right? is that's very different because, like, let's say there was kids playing right here, and he was just barking and lunging. I'm like, that's a problem, right? So it's a very different scenario.
Which there are, obviously.
Yeah, we've seen kids and all that stuff, you know. But because of the two instances and your kind of like more heightened than what you're expecting.
For me, it's kind of, I think what you're alluding to too is the fact that he hasn't really been exposed to kids that much because of our worries. Obviously, track record's not the best. But,
yeah, so like what I would do is like here, this is a great place to practice because there's kids right there.
For sure.
Right? Is in Logan Square, find like where's there an equivalent? And I'm not saying bring them to kids, I'm just saying walk past, right? And you're like, oh crap, you know, we're 20 feet away, no problem.
Yeah, on walks, yeah, I've definitely walked past kids on walks now that I think about it. But it's not an interaction, but definitely just walking by and passing by kids. And there's never really been like or anything like that towards them. So
correct. So the preventative measure that we go about, like with the garage and then like those two incidences, it's something I can also go over with you in the Zoom, so you can get a feel for what that looks like. The only issue that you're gonna have is that, well, if you don't have any kids actually coming over, maybe by the time you do have kids coming over, it's been 2 years, and you're like, what the hell did Jesse say 2 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
so
get it.
yeah. So okay, because I think this is number 6 for you.
This is sick, yeah.
So you got 3 more, and I'm trying to find what's going to be the best application for your time, you know, for those remaining 3, because you got the essentials, which is don't pull me, come when I call you, and a couple others. Then it's like, okay, we also have the kid thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I maybe check around, see if you have access.
Yeah.
And what you want to do is, if you want to do the dog-child interaction, it's muzzle. Can we talk about this? So I'd suggest getting a basket-style muzzle. It's meant for extended wear. It's meant to make you feel relaxed, and also whoever's going to help us, right? Because if it's like, hey, could you bring your kid over? So because we want to see how Vito does. They're like, why? Well, he had a couple incidents. And like, well, what happened? Well, he kind of nipped at a kid.
Yeah.
You know, then it's like, well, why do you want me to bring my kid? Well, we need to test, right?
Special lamb.
Exactly. So there's a lot. There's obviously a lot going on there. That when you tell them that,
I would definitely say if my sister's kid was here, I would definitely say that, but she won't be here till October. So
yeah. So what I would do is we'll send you the videos. You definitely want to start muzzle training now. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll get in touch with you on obedience-wise. I think you got what you're needing. Now we're needing behavior stuff. But to do the behavior stuff, we need access to kids. The resource guarding at the dog park is actually easy to address because it's just you can't have it.
yeah, it's
We
as
can go
simple
over
as
that.
almost what would that be, a state, like a thing place situation, or just
So let's say you're at the dog park and there's a tennis ball.
yeah,
Because Vito would grab that and then he would possess it. Is that correct?
correct.
Yeah. So
Basically, taunting dogs to come play with him. You know, it's not. I don't think it was so much. Hey, this ball is mine. In my view of it, I think it was more like, hey, come chase me and come play with me, because sometimes he would just have the ball and then he would drop it if no one was chasing him, and then he'd go chase the dogs. Like,
Sure.
it was almost like
he was trying to coax them.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
antagonize them.
Sure. So have you ever seen where like the ball was on the ground and like another dog came for it at the same time Vito did?
Exactly. Yeah.
And what happened?
When it was at the same time, there was never any sort of really issue, like never any sort of scuffle broke out
Sure.
between them. But it was when he typically would have it, and then another dog would try to
Take it from him.
Yeah.
And then what did you do?
He's probably got about 2 or 3 fights.
Little spats.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So to address that, it wouldn't be like sit, stay, or down, or place, or heel, or any of that, because that has nothing to do with what's going on.
Yeah. So behavior.
It's behavior. Correct, right? So the way I'd approach it is, oh, you want to play with that ball on the ground? No, you can't.
Yeah.
Right? I just remove it as an option, so then he has nothing to possess.
Yeah.
Okay, because unlike humans, where you can teach a child how to share something with another child, right, and that they'll get it back and all that stuff. Really, I want to say you can't, because I've done it. I can do it, but it's so nuanced that dog owners really struggle with it. So I just say, make it easy, and just don't allow him to have anything at the dog park.
For sure.
So you completely remove the context of possible resource guarding, because there's nothing to guard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the easiest approach. So when we do the behavior stuff, I want you to think of it as like prevention and intervention. So like, let's say Vito doesn't like kids coming into the home, right? Preventative would be like putting him in a kennel, keeping him on leash, telling him to go lay down and making sure that he doesn't move, period.
For sure.
Right? Having that level of control. So he goes, man, I don't like kids, but I know me leaving this spot has worse consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But then you tell the kid, leave him alone. He's not a big fan of kids. Give him some space, right? Preventative. Intervention is, crap, here it is. Some kid just walked into the garage and Vito's going, right? At that moment, it's not about recall. It's not about place. It's not about sit or stay. It's about stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's just, again, consequence with the remote. So that's why I like e-collar, because it gives you both.
Yeah.
You have prevention and intervention, right?
Yeah.
Prevention is always the easiest way to handle situations, but you want to also have the know-how of like, hey, things have gone south. How do I also stop this?
For sure.
Okay. So your remote isn't aversive. It's meant to stop things. So if he's chewing on a stick, you don't want him to chew on a stick, you just remote him. If he wants to eat goose poop and you don't want him to eat goose poop, you just remote him. If he's jumping on you, you remote him, right? If he sees a kid and you don't like the way he's looking at the kid, just remote him. Yep. If he's at the dog park and he's like, hey, there's a ball, and you're like, nah, we're not gonna play that game, just remote him, okay? It's super simple. There's nothing else that you need to layer in, obedience-wise or any of that stuff. If you tap him and he ends up coming to you, thinking, hey, did you call me? I don't praise him because I don't want him to think that. I want him to learn that that tap was for was because I was disagreeing with what he was about to do.
Yep.
Okay? So that's one aspect of handling it. The other behavioral thing would be like, okay, how do we get Vito to like kids? And then it's a very structured, routine exercise. And that's where the sacrificial lambs comes into play, right? And the muzzling stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to...
Well, it makes me feel better asking someone to muzzle, which obviously Sarah's obviously if there's a muzzle.
Yeah.
That I don't think some people would have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So, I've been doing this for 10 years. And I remember in the very beginning, I was like learning, and we had a dog that didn't have any issues. Never bit anybody, nothing, right? But was a little nervy when people would approach.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, so we didn't muzzle her. So we're like, oh, would you pet the dog? And the people are like, why? They're like, oh, we're trying to socialize her. And they're like, no. And they'd walk away, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, no, she doesn't bite. They're like, no, we're okay. And they would just walk away. The fact that they knew that we were trying to socialize the dog and the dog was kind of weary kind of made them think like, I don't want to risk getting bit.
For sure.
And I've had dogs that have straight up bit the crap out of people with the muzzle, and we've told them like, yeah, will you help us socialize the dog? Yeah, no problem. Pet the dog.
Yeah.
Okay? So, human psyche, right?
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Like if someone said, hey, touch my dog, and you're like, it's funny because people are always like, don't touch the dog, no problem. If no one says
when you
anything,
don't, but if someone says don't touch the dog, you're like, oh, why?
yeah, why? Exactly, right? So the muzzle is going to help keep you and your wife's anxieties down because you're like, oh, if things go south, it's okay. It helps keep that person feel safe as well. Going like, okay, we're going to help, but we know if anything happens, nothing is going to happen. We've taken these precautions. Okay? Does it make him an aggressive dog?
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about it. It's usually an emotional thing for people. When they're using the muzzle, like, oh my god, like people are thinking, no. There's people that muzzle train their dogs just because, as a precaution, when they take their dog to the vet, they're like, in case there's a bad interaction, I don't have to ever worry about my dog making contact, right? Yeah. And they've never seen anything. And I'm like, good for you. Like that's a proactive approach of just preventing something from happening. For sure. Okay? So we can send you videos on that. You definitely want to start training that stuff because it does take, every dog's different. Some dogs, no problem. Within a couple of days is fine with it. Other dogs are looking at months. Okay. So
where do you think he would kind of be?
Vito knows. Yeah, Vito knows. Because until it's on his face, you don't know. Yeah. Okay. And some dogs, it's like zero training, could care two shits about being muzzled. Other dogs, forget about it. Trying to fight it, scratching their face, tearing it up, and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's an easy process. It just takes time. Okay. For sure. Anything else? No. So go ahead and pop that long leash on him.
Yep.
And we'll do some review.
Now I don't have Becca because we did the one, right?
Yeah, don't worry about the. So what we'll do is go ahead and leash him up, and then I'll give you some instructions on how we can kind of practice the recall so that. And you can take off the green leash as well. Yeah. Go ahead and just walk away from Vito. Keep your leash in your hands and just let it loose. And let's see if you'll just like give him no commands and start to walk around and see if you'll just like start to like space out.
Kind of hold the end of it.
Yeah. There you go. Next walk. Don't say anything to him. Try walking backwards here. Yeah, just go backwards. Yeah. Try walking past like that tree right there. Go ahead and move backwards. Go to your right, just turn. Yeah, walk up that tree right there. See if you'll go sniff it. And try to sneak away from him. So like stand right there. Okay. So what we're trying to do here is get Vito comfortable with not having to be at your side. Okay, so clearly he's thinking discipline, right?
Yeah.
It's very common.
Yeah.
So it's a problem in the sense of like what makes it difficult for you to practice without Rebecca. But it's a good thing because this is actually what prevents dogs from running away.
Yeah.
Is the fact of worrying about where's my owner at this time. Okay. So when you do this, when you go into this kind of meandering state, forget about heel, forget about all that formal stuff. So like over there, when you went past this tree, you went into the pivoting turn. So then he thinks, oh crap, are we healing?
Ah, okay.
Right? So I would have just like, if
just
I'm
casually turn back?
Yeah,
Okay.
casually turn back, or I might just like, all of a sudden just start reversing.
Okay.
Right? Out of nowhere. If anything, he might turn to like start following you, and then I'll just like, make that complete no sense. No sense at all. Just you're walking around, and then you walk past the tree, and I saw him sniffing, and I take the opportunity to step away.
Try to make him become lackadaisical.
Yeah, right? So what we're trying to show him is like there is no real clear direction right now. So he goes, all right, well, if there's no real clear direction of, hey, we're in heel, then maybe I can do these things.
For sure.
And you're getting him used to the fact of being away from you for, at a 10 to 20 foot distance, and nothing's happening, okay? So we're gonna try that a little bit more just to see if we can get Vito to be a bit more relaxed, okay?
For sure.
So when it comes to these, this higher level form of obedience, so for instance, we have another client who just wrapped up today, whose dog, like he walks him off leash and everything. And he was approaching it as a very regimented boot camp-esque approach, right? Which is not bad. But what happened was the dog didn't want to do anything else.
So I was going to say, so he doesn't have that on or off switch.
Correct, right? Yeah. So then the guy started, he's like, I didn't really want a robot. I'm like, I don't want a robot either. Yeah. I was like, but you were so regimented that that's what happened. Because he thought that's what it was supposed to be. Okay, good. So I was like,
we don't do that with Vito, and I was like, okay, maybe should we make this more of a regiment? But if you're saying
it's a balance. Yeah. So think of it as regimented when you say something.
Yeah.
When you say heel, it's regimented, right? Okay. He's clocked into work. And when you say break, it's not regimented. Yeah. It's just now you're free, right? It's a balance. It's that on and off switch. For sure. Okay? So what you're working on here is, especially because I'm here and Enrique's here and the camera's here, he's thinking like, oh, I know what today is.
It's showtime.
Exactly, right? He's just going into that state. So now it's getting him to the point of like, hey, buddy, it's not showtime. Yeah. We're actually trying to build that balance.
For sure.
I don't care if dogs chase squirrels, chase rabbits, play the dog park, pee and poop and all that shit, right? I want if I can get you back, or if I need the control, I have it, right? That's my biggest thing. For sure. The more control you have, the more freedom you have, because you can do some more stuff with your dog. For sure. Okay? So, as long as you've not given any commands, it's okay that he's doing whatever. Yeah. Okay? It's when you do give the command that you have to reinforce it to the degree that it was taught. Otherwise, then you're working against yourself.
Got it.
Okay. So instead of moving forward, so when you do this, try your best to not move in a forward-like fashion like this with Vito. Because if you're here, right, what is that now? What does that look like to you now?
Control.
What else? What's the technical name for that? When is Vito here sitting?
Oh, heel.
Right.
Yeah.
That looks like a heel.
Yeah.
Right? So if you just started walking and I saw you, I would think, oh, he must be heeling with Vito. Because you just walked like that.
Yeah.
Right? So what I do here is, instead of moving forward, I probably just start moving backwards and just kind of like goofing around and stuff. And if I do move forward, if I do move forward, I move forward with maybe Vito on my right side.
Got it.
Because right side is the heel.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to break away from that formal picture.
I get you.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Cool. So go ahead and try it. So you don't have to say anything because you're free. Better. Try walking past that tree again. Still here. Good. Yeah, just keep walking. Ignore him. Yeah, like that. Go just pause right there. Pull your leash, or is it stuck on something? Yeah, that's all right. Gonna grab your remote. Try walking past that other tree there. Yeah. You're going to stop right there. Good. Good. So what we're trying to do is create that disconnect, and I'm having you stop a little bit shorter, because the further you go, the more inclined he's going to be to want to jump with you around that, right? So you're trying to teach him, yes, you can go off and do the smelling and all that stuff. And what it would end up looking like over time is when you cue the word break or free, he goes off like nothing.
For sure.
Like not a care in the world.
Yeah.
And some people might think like, oh, just, but then the dog's like too free. I'm like, yeah, but give the command, and then here's the dog. Boom. Yeah. I'm like, so it's on and off, right? The dog goes, great, I'm free, I'm done, I'm off the clock, let me do my thing. Oh, they called me back, now I'm back to work, right? You just need to build that with them.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I think it's over, it's like the boulevard, those patches of grass and stuff. Yep. Like that's a great place to practice, right? Sure. Maybe you walk with them and heel, and then you get to the boulevard, you stop, he auto sits, you clip the long leash on, right? And you just meander through those patches of grass, right? I take advantage of trees, bushes, flowers, you know, if there's goose poop or poop in general, so that he just catches the nose, and then I just walk away a little bit, then I'll stop and kind of just let him do his doggy thing for a bit, and then he might start kind of meandering your way, and then I might pick it up again. Yeah. And like, again, always moving away from him in a very non-leading fashion, so that he doesn't default into the heel, but it's gonna happen a lot in the beginning, okay? Eventually it should be, okay, Vito, break, boom, nose on the ground, I'm free, I'm good to go. Okay? Does he have any toys, like ball drive or anything like that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like fetch?
Yeah, we play fetch a little bit here and there. But he's got a pretty good toy drive, I mean, when he wants to.
Sure.
It's more or less.
Another thing you can try is if you take your ball, tennis ball, whatever he plays with, any toys, and then you go to the, patch of grass, release him, you're just meandering or whatever, you can even release him and then throw the ball to create, how'd you say, momentum for him to go free. Right there. Do you see the lip licking? Do you know what lip licking is? Stress sign. It's a stress signal.
All right.
Okay. So
Well, we were asking for an encounter, and it kind of happened.
There you go, right? And if anything, what you could do too is I look at the leash and I step on it closer, like he even started shaking there. You see that? So that was definitely an uncomfortable scenario for him. I'll tell you that for sure. Okay. So, real quick before I forget about that. Kid comes behind, and little kid, right? Energy. Right? And he goes, "What is that?" And then he licks his lips. So that was Vito's way of saying, "This is stressing me out at the moment." Okay? It's not a bad thing. It's just telling you, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I saw you take precaution, right? That was fine. And then we just see what happens. Eventually, the lady took her child. He turned around and licked his lips about 2 to 3 more times. Okay, that was him kind of venting that stressful moment. And then the shaking. Okay, so yes, after seeing that, I can tell you that little kids kind of bothered him a bit. Okay, it's okay.
Now you understand.
Yes. So the exercise I have is meant for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we just need kids. Okay. So when it comes to a scenario like that, there's 2 approaches. There's the I have full control, I'm not worried about it approach. And there's the I'm not too sure because we've not been here in this kind of environment before in this context. So I'm confident, but I'm going to just step on my leash or short my leash or grab the collar just in case. Right? So there's no right or wrong approach. I always suggest people err on the side of caution because if anything were to happen, when your confidence goes down, it's so hard to rebuild it back up.
Sure.
You know. So all that was fine.
Yeah.
Okay. What I liked was that you went down, grabbed here, but you didn't like start to panic or like move away or start giving a bunch of commands. Because that's what typically people do, right? They right with like, oh. Yeah. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Had the kid start moving towards them, then I would have just started walking. Yeah. And tapped or whatever, and removed myself from the situation, right? Yeah. So, if you want to get an idea of what Vito's comfort level is, because that was approximately about 6 to 8 feet, right? And from behind, where he's more vulnerable.
And that's that height, probably even the nervousness.
Correct, right? So then, yeah, he's like, "What's the thing? I don't like kids." Right exactly, they're right behind you, right? What I liked was that he didn't escalate.
Yeah.
He just looked, he licked his lips, he said, I don't know how I feel about this, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? He didn't start growling or anything like that, and then after it happened, he started shaking, but now he's letting it go. Because he's like, oh, okay, like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how we try to work around the kid thing, and then we also attach positive association, like food and treats and all that stuff. So that he's like, oh shit, when I see kids, I get, turkey, bologna, hot dogs, cheese, and all that stuff. I actually really like kids. Yeah. But I always tell people, still in the back of your mind, you want to be aware at some point there was a problem. And it doesn't mean that one day that it can't happen, but it's always very controlled contact. Okay? Questions about that stuff?
No, it makes total sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, if you see a scenario like that happening, I suggest use it to your advantage. To shorten your leash, right? Because that gives you the immediate control.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that as soon as it happened after. I'm like, wait,
it's okay, yeah. Because I was watching and I was watching him, right? Yeah. So like, let's say the kid kept approaching and closing that gap. Maybe when the kid gets it up here, is when he's like, whoa, right?
I need to react or.
So, but in order to know what that's all about, like you have to put yourself in those scenarios. But otherwise, like that was fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions? So go ahead and just start meandering. Instead of going forward, curve out and just go around that way to see if you'll maybe stay there for a little bit. Fine. Yep. Just keep walking. Walking past me. and then come back this way. So I'll have you go like right there, and you'll wait a second or so, and then you do a recall. Vito, come. Yep, and then back. Good. Good. Praise. Good. There you go. And I'm going to try a couple of the side steps. Tap, tap, back, tap, tap, tap. Good. Tap. There you go. Yep. Here, keep your leash short like you have it. I might even shorten just a wee bit more. And you're going to give that stay command. Stay. Tap up. There you go. Lightly pull up. Tap. 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 Good. And relax. Good. And start to move around, keeping it close to the beginning. Widen it further. Yeah. You just slowly start giving away slack. Yep. Just like that. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Yep, and step away. Stay. Good. Give a bit more slack. Try going a little further. Yep. Redo the whole thing. Step away. Good. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Step away. Stay. Good, back to the side. And you're gonna say break, and you're gonna just meander for a little bit. Break. Yep, going to walk around. Walk past trees, see if he gets distracted. The new ride. One of them,
I was gonna go under and then I don't know. Remember how many times?
Oh, that's good. This is a distraction from. Into the crouch like I did. Good. When you're ready, Sam. Vito, come. Tap. Good. Couple of side steps. You're good, Enrique. Good. Go ahead and, yep, you got it. Go ahead and drop your leash. Heel. Yep. Go ahead and pivot. Tap, tap. There you go. Good. Go ahead and walk about right there, about 3-4 feet from the placemat. Yep. Good. And you're going to say, take a step forward and say place. Just send the mat there. Place. Good. And then step away. So, what you're doing here is building towards off-leash reliability. So I think before we're doing like the leash in your hand and hold onto the handle, you have the leash dragging, but you're holding onto it, right? The next step is leggage dragging. So in case like right there he fanned out, went towards the regate. Yeah. So like let's say he kept going off in that direction, I can step on it and use the remote to bring him back as opposed to trying to pick it up. Most people's instinct is to pick up the leash, and you'll either get rope burn, and then letting the leash go. Yeah. So I always just have to step on it instead and remote the dog to make them come back and figure it out. Yeah. And then using us as a distraction, which wasn't a problem. So the good thing was he was I would say comfortable enough to break away, right? Like when you're walking. So he will do it. It's just a matter of fact that is there something there for sure for, right? So using that to your advantage, and then just get him used to the fact that like he doesn't have to be right next to you. Like he is in fact free. Yeah. He just hasn't picked that quite up yet. Okay. If he tried this in a new environment, or maybe an environment he's very comfortable in, right? So like let's say over Rebecca's, right, in Iowa. Like let's say he's like super comfortable over there.
Or even my parents, he would be pretty comfortable.
Yeah. So somewhere where you can take him and say break, he's like break for sure, and he just like walks off, right? Yeah. That would be an ideal environment to practice in. Like he knows this place. Yeah. He knows when he comes to Oz Park, like it's like the same area, right? So he's going to be very much less inclined to want to take those liberties, which again isn't a bad thing, but you're trying to build the balance of discipline and control when you need it, and then the release of freedom when you want it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So then, like, let's say you're here and Vito's free and he's loose, he's doing his doggy thing, and you see kids coming. Vito come, right? You grab his leash, you grab his collar, stay, let it pass.
Good.
Right. And then what's doing it, right?
Yeah, the break concept is definitely not, especially with the shock collar on, it's definitely not. Like, it's usually just kind of one mode with him once that's on.
Have you taken him to a dog park at all?
We have not yet.
Okay. Is there anything stopping you from taking him there?
No, other than
the guarding?
I thought we couldn't go in with a certain amount of people.
Oh!
You're talking about the one right by the overpass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was like a certain amount of people that can only be in there. I might be wrong.
Is there a sign there?
I've
I've seen people in there, but it's usually like maybe 3.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, generally it's not too many people. When I get off work, I've seen like sometimes 10 people.
Oh yeah. But well, there's one over.
I'll try it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a comfortable number in there for you. 3 or 4 or whatever.
I personally don't care. I just don't want to get in trouble.
Sure. So you can take them, and then I would be proactive about the resource starting. So at any point when you see Vito going for a toy, I would just remote him for it. Yeah. Okay. Not allow him to have it. And then you walk in, he's in heel, he auto sits, you open the gate, you walk in, you close it, he sits, you go in, right? And then before you remove it, you release, break, and then you take off the leash to see if he just goes. Leave the collar on, because you're trying to create that him associating like that he can't be free and loose, but still have the collar on.
For sure.
And it takes doing that. Otherwise, if it's just every time you put it on, it's discipline.
Yeah. Every
time you put it on him, you're gonna get that dog, right? So you want him getting him used to playing with other dogs, playing at the dog park. We can even do it. Like he's been great at the facility.
Oh yeah.
So that's something we could do too. Because I know you bring it, but we've not had needed to use it because he's been really good with everything. Uh-huh. But that's something we can do for him. Is we'll pop it on so that he's playing with the dogs and stuff. He's just getting used to it. Like, oh yeah, sure. Like it's on, but it's no big deal.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Question about this stuff.
No, I pretty understandable.
So what I would suggest that you do here,
Now it's essentially behavior from here on out.
yeah, that's what I would focus on, because I know that was a primary concern for you
For
and your
sure.
wife. I think in terms of control, you have stationary, you have come when I call you, you have don't pull me, right? And the foundation of just discipline. So it's funny because when dogs have bigger problems, it's easier because it's very apparent. So like right there when all that happened, right? Let's say previously it was Jesse, when he sees kids he lunges and barks, and that happened. That's very clear progress, right? But in your case it was like, well, it's territorial.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to say.
So, but I could definitely see the stress signs.
Yeah.
I could see he was not comfortable with it. Definitely after the fact, he started shaking.
Yeah.
Right, and that was all due to because he wasn't shaking privately. Right, so I know for sure there's some discomfort with kids.
For sure. I was going to ask too, though. So, like you're saying, like that was territorial. Obviously, the one instance at my house, but then the one that was in the garage at my parents.
Still technically territorial.
It's okay. See, technically, when he's in an environment for a certain amount of time, will he go ahead and say, okay, is this my territory?
Yeah. If not territorial, protective. Kind of like, I would say, I would not expect it because, like you said, there was 20, 30 people there.
Exactly.
And then the one kid that walks in, right? So it's possible he's targeting what he deems weaker energy because kids give off a less threatening presence. But I'm thinking on entry kid, within an area sounds like territorial. So yeah, it's really hard to say because typically like when dogs are territorial and like the owner has a bunch of guests come over,
For sure.
like after like the third person, the dog's like, oh, this is just a weird scenario for a bunch of people coming over. I don't need to bark every single time someone knocks, and they'll stop barking, right? So I wouldn't anticipate to see that.
No,
To be honest, like in that scenario, I'll be like, well, it's 30 people there. That's strange, and it's the one kid that walks in, So that's where things get a little off. But I definitely saw it there.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is, if you ever come by, like this is a park, whatever, like obviously don't walk in the park with them, but walk around, close the gap a bit, stand there. If there's kids running around, look at them. And if Vito's like doing this, kind of like licking his lips and like not wanting them to look at it, there's clearly discomfort. Okay. I wouldn't be too concerned about in the future, kids and stuff like that. That's different. I'll explain it to you over the Zoom. And there's more to that. I've had plenty of people whose dogs were just don't like kids, but loved their kid. Okay, but it took time, and there's ways of going about it so that we prevent anything from happening before the dog's ready. Because that's typically what people screw up is they want that Instagram friendly picture where their kids sleeping on their dog, and I'm like, that's like the most dangerous shit ever. So
I've seen people do that. At the end of the day, the dog's still an animal.
and
like
they bite to correct their puppies.
Yeah, like a newborn. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you have a newborn baby with skin that's basically just very vulnerable. And,
Sure.
And like you said, they correct their puppies by
Biting.
Right?
Yeah. So if the kid does something that's like roll over and like squash the dog's leg and the dog don't like it, the first thing it's gonna do is nip. So like I had a German Shepherd that I worked with last year or 2 years ago, and I remember they were like, oh, he loves the kids, this and that, right? But he was very reactive and like bit like 2 people, 3 people coming into the home, very territorial. And I told him, I was like, hey, I understand you've not had any negative experiences with kids, but err on the side of caution, right?
One time that you have it.
And then towards the end of the program, I remember walking in and everybody was just sullen, right? There's just, I'm like, how was the week? They're like, you bit a kid in the face, right? And I was like, tell me what happened. Oh, well, he had a water bottle, and the kid went to take away the water bottle, and then he bit him. And I'm like, yeah, because he's research. I'm like, that's what I was telling you. Don't get comfortable, right? But I told him, like, does he do that with anybody else? Like, no, we can take anything from him. I'm like, yeah, because it was the kid. And he's like, hey, you're a kid, you don't take shit from me. That's how they think.
For sure.
And there was another time, like 2 weeks later, he bit another kid. Oh, because he was sleeping and they were playing, and the kid just fell on top of him. Right? And then they're like, he needs to learn not to do that. I'm like, no,
No,
like
the kids need to not be in that situation.
Yeah, I was like, where were the adults? Where were the adults saying like, hey,
Not a lot
give
of
them
adults.
space, right? So eventually, like, it sunk in.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
they were just too comfortable. Like, oh, these dogs never bitten any kids. I'm like,
No,
no.
what Becca and I really want is, we want kids to be able to come in our house freely, and we just want to be able to mitigate the situation of him being involved in a situation like that. You know,
Right.
Or Vito, you follow, like, you come with us. You know, you're not gonna, if the kids are playing in X room, we're going to go to Y room, you come with us. Or
Correct.
you stay in your place here. Because
Yes.
obviously you don't want to leave the kids alone in the room with the dog.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that is correct. I've had many calls with like, oh, my dog needs training because he's aggressive with kids. I'm like, well, tell me what happened. Well, I don't know because I
wasn't in there. Yeah, well, that's
well, kids do stuff. I'm like, if anything, it's the kids' fault because they pull jowls and pull ears, they climb all over.
For
them.
sure, yeah, you have no clue what to do.
Yeah, and I've had people have dogs for 5 years. They're like, oh, I have a golden retriever for 5 years, never been at my kid, and all of a sudden they're aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like your kid most likely was doing this shit for 5 years.
For sure.
Finally annoyed the crap out of the dog, and the dog's like, I'm done. There you go. You've had 5 years of patience.
Yeah, people think it's an instant love connection, but it's not. But you've even told me there's instances where the dog will be possessing over the kids.
Yeah, towards the owners.
You gotta watch that.
Yeah, there's no guarantee of how it works. I've seen the craziest shit happen, and I don't say it's like, how do you say, scare anybody. But I tell them, they're like, Jesse, what do you expect? I'm like, I don't know, because it's worked out so many different
Reality
ways.
of the situation.
But that's why I always say space and coexistence and not forcing interaction is the easiest and safest way.
Well, yeah, and like, I think it has to do with a lot of, like you said, parents teaching their kids how to react and play with dogs rather than going up to a dog. Like, I know that mom was joking when she was walking by. She's like, well, you can't go ahead and pet all the dogs in the park. And thank God I was getting nervous when the kid was approaching because I was like,
and in my opinion, that lady was super hesitant. I would have been like, get your ass over here, let's go.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, your kid's really cute, but he's in like a
so
awkward state.
Seeing what I've seen, right?
Yeah.
And feel free, okay, as Vito's owner, right? Is let's say you're with Vito and you see that happen again, and the kid's just beelining towards Vito. Feel free to say just straight up, don't touch my dog.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't even worry about courtesy.
Yeah.
Because the bluntness a lot of times does catch people off guard where they're like, oh, and they'll just grab their dog.
Yeah, a lot of times they assume, I can go pet
Exactly.
this dog, right?
And maybe, and I've had it happen in some cases where the person was like, oh, you're an asshole. Like, this is a kid.
I'd rather be an asshole
And
than
it's like, well,
lawsuit.
your kid shouldn't just be coming up to dogs and touch them,
sure.
right? I've told people to get their dogs on, like, here all the time. I'm like, put your dog on a leash, grab your dog, right? I have no problem telling anybody to do something if I know I'm being proactive about preventing something.
For sure.
Because right there, I was about to tell her,
Yeah,
grab
I
your
was
kid.
gonna say something too, but I was just like, okay, maybe she'll pick her up or something, and luckily she did.
People are too assuming of like,
Exactly.
oh, nothing's bad happens. Yeah.
I thought maybe the shot collar was a giveaway, and we were filming, but I didn't really.
It's funny. I've told people like,
I was like,
if
all right.
anything, like the human starts barking, I'm like,
Yeah,
freak
for
them out. Like,
real,
what
right?
the fuck's wrong with you? And
Yeah,
walk away.
seriously.
So for your homework, right?
Yeah.
Practice the stuff. Start pushing it. Feel free to go to the dog park. Remote for any attention to toys. Can't have anything if it's empty. Dog park or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
But when there's other dogs around, just prevent that from happening. Talk to Rebecca. See if you can coordinate anything with kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll try to figure something out. I got distant cousins, not distant, but second cousins that have kids and stuff, so
Sure.
I could give them a shout, but I'll feel like I'll treat you to dinner.
Sure. And then if you can't get it soon, I wouldn't sweat it.
Yeah.
Okay? We can set up the Zooms. I can educate you and your wife a bit more about that stuff.
Is the Zoom, so like, are we going to keep having sessions, or is the Zoom the next sessions, or is the Zoom a separate?
You can plan the Zoom whenever you want. The Zoom is online. It's like Skype.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, is the Zoom, is that considered a session, or is that just something for you and I to?
It's complimentary.
Oh,
so like you
it's
have your 9
included with
classes.
the next 3 sessions.
Right.
Okay. All right,
So
I
like
get you.
what we did was, since you signed up pre-pandemic, and all the new people who are signing up are getting complimentary sessions, we've just turned around and said anybody like you you were affected where I couldn't see you for a bit, right? It was like you get 2 free sessions, but they're over Zoom. Right? So that doesn't count as an actual session.
No,
you still have your 3 so we can work with the kid stuff.
For sure.
But the 2 Zooms are to kind of catch Rebecca up and say like, hey, this is what we saw with kids, this is what we saw with blah, 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 blah. This is how we go about approaching it. And then if you need to wait till October to pick up, like, hey, Jesse, they're coming in, we got the kids. I'm like, excellent, let's get you on the calendar.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
And then we'll go from there.
That's fine.
Okay?
No, I'm
so
totally cool with that.
practice this stuff. You've done a really good job. Okay? It's all about practice and reinforcing. And then I know your priority, my priority, of course, is the kid thing. So then I would say I would cap it here for obedience. Unless you really need, like, let's say, a couple of months, you're like, oh shit, man, we need a refresher. No problem.
Yeah, for sure. But let's try to save the 3 sessions for kids.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's not going to be a quick turnaround. And I'll send you the stuff on the muzzle training. Definitely start that sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know how long it's going to take Vito. It could be a quick thing. It could be a very long ass endeavor.
No. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll go in and grab that.